Recently, I've been receiving a lot of questions regarding the Thai Elite visa, now called the Privilege visa, and essentially like, what's changed with the program and is it still worth doing with these changes? So the main change to the program was they changed the pricing. So there's a few other changes, like they have some reward system now, but fundamentally it's not that important, the reward system. It's not that useful. So the main change is the price. The price changed from it was around 17,000 US dollars for a 5-year visa, or around $28,000 for the 20-year visa. And you could always extend the 5-year visa to the 20-year visa and get the extra 15 years for the same price. That's how it was in the old program. The new program with the Thai Privilege visa, they now call it, or the Thai Privilege card, it's now $70,000. Well, the most cost-effective plans now. The ones that make the most sense would be the 15-year plan, which is 70,000 US dollars, or the 5-year plan, which is around 25,000 US dollars. So as you can see, the price has jumped quite a lot, particularly for the long-term one. So they do have a 20-year one, which is 5 million baht. It comes out to over 70,000 US dollars. This one's not cost effective, and that's why I quoted the 15-year one. But really, this is the main change to these programs. You get a few extra rewards now for having this Thai Elite or Thai Privilege visa, but it's not very substantial. The main thing is you're going to be paying a lot more for these programs now. So effectively, what has changed with these programs is they have more than doubled the price. And it's just, many people are wondering, is it still cost effective, or does it even make sense to get a Thai Elite visa? And this is completely understandable in my opinion. Like, before the programs were, let's just say, a reasonable price, they were to a point where it would be about the same cost as just getting an education visa, but with less hassle, a little more flexibility, so it made sense. Now with it being like around more than double the price of an education visa and about half the cost of just setting up a business and operating the business and everything that entails, it really doesn't make that much sense to do a Thai Elite visa, now called a Thai Privilege visa, in my opinion at least. So to me, the fees are just quite ridiculous now, because you're not really getting anything extra than the old program offered. It's not, like the old program was more than suitable. So there's also some other restrictions they've added now, like you need to be invited to the program and some nonsense like that. It doesn't really make much sense why they made these changes, unless they simply don't want as many applicants, which I'd understand, I guess. I did encounter there were a few people who were working illegally on a Thai Elite visa. And these people, they did it because it was so cheap to get the visa, but they did not actually, they weren't the clients the Thai government intended to attract with the program. Anyhow, relative to like the price of the program now, I just find the fees to be too high and the program to not really be worth that. In absolute monetary terms, like if you have a reasonable amount of capital to yourself, or you make a decent income, it's really not that bad still, if I'm being honest. Like, it's really not that bad. Like, 20-something thousand dollars for a 5-year visa that you can stay as much as you want in Thailand, like, it's not good, but it's really, what is it gonna be, like $600 a month? When you like price it out, maybe you're here half a year, so its net costs about $1,000 a month. It's really, it's not a great deal anymore like it used to be, but it's really not that bad if you're making quite a bit of money or you have quite a bit of investments already. With that being said, like I said, I find the program fees to be a little bit ridiculous now. So I won't be going for a program now. I did consider doing the program before, as I believe I've mentioned on the channel. However, I didn't go through with it because I thought there would be, and there are, better options in my opinion. And this is why I didn't go through the program before, and I most definitely am not doing the program now. The first alternative is one I did actually use for a while, which is simply to get an education visa. So the overall net cost of this is, let's say, $2,500 a year or so. So it's really quite cheap, maybe $250 a month or something like this, maybe a bit less even. And this is for getting a visa to go to college here. The colleges will cost a little bit extra, the tuition-wise. Or you can learn Thai language, or you can learn Muay Thai fighting or self-defense. There's quite a few options, all of them within that band. I live in the college, which is more around a couple $1,000s more a year at most. So I used this option and did the Muay Thai visa for around a year previously, and it works fine. The only downside to this is that you're supposed to actually do whatever you're signed up to do. But if you're living in Thailand and want to live here, you probably do want to learn Thai. And if not, you can sign up to your Muay Thai and practice that a little bit. You don't have to do like fights or even do sparring, although sparring is typically part of the class. But you don't really have to do that if you don't want to. And you can just use it as a way to improve your fitness. Either way is really fine. But the only downside to this education visa is you can't really leave the country freely on it. So you end up having to, of course, get an exit permit and a re-entry permit. That's not too big of an issue. But the big issue is you can't really leave more than 1 to 2 times per year. If you leave more than 2 times per year, well, you're supposed to be here in Thailand studying, learning the language or learning Muay Thai, whatever it might be. So if you're leaving more than 2 times a year, especially for substantial amounts of time, you're not studying. So you're not using the visa properly. As a result, immigration will cancel the visa. So that's really the only disadvantage to this alternative to the Thai Elite visa. So to be clear, because of this alternative, where I could stay in Thailand 6+ months continuously without any issue, and the fees were less than the old Thai Elite program, and with substantially more benefits, being able to actually get like lessons doing Muay Thai or in Thai language or whatever you wanted. This seemed much better to me, and it's why I didn't go through the program previously, and one reason I wouldn't do it again. Like I wouldn't do, I wouldn't do the Thai Elite visa now, or the Thai privilege visa now. The second alternative was, in my opinion, not a very good alternative before, due to the cost. However, now it is a good alternative. And it's that you can simply set up a business here and get a business visa. It, of course, is a little more complicated. It requires a little more hassle. However, the requirement, you have to basically hire 4 Thai employees, and then you can just employ yourself. Then there's a little bit of administration and bureaucracy fees, of course. But overall, you're looking at probably around $1,200 a month to maintain it, and you get a free business out of it, basically. You can set up a free business. Obviously, a business isn't free. It has expenses, but a lot of the expenses here in Thailand would be the employees, and you're effectively saving around 2 employees' full-time wages. So your net cost to maintain the visa and break even on your business is substantially better than it otherwise would be. As well as, what many people don't realize is you can set up some sort of business that caters specifically to you. So if you have quite a bit of capital and you do, let's just say, want some extra services, you can hire Thai employees and have them work for you, like doing services for you. So you can hire, say, a personal assistant, and that personal assistant can handle all your emails, whatever sort of thing you want. You can hire, in like my case, I could hire a video editor for like these YouTube videos. You can hire a cleaner for your house. I already have usually I'll have a cleaner come in and clean once, twice a week, something like this. But you can hire a cleaner for every day, a live-in maid, a chef, whatever you want. You can do all of that within the confines of setting up your business for a business visa. It's a little trickier this way, but it's perfectly legal and fine. And you can also provide those services to other people in the city, of course. This is likely the route I would go if I did decide to set up my home base in Thailand. However, currently I'm leaning more towards moving to the Philippines because the process is just much simpler and the visa situation is much more advantageous for someone my age. So if I was going to settle in Thailand, it would probably be through this program because I could just hire a couple people to help me out with my businesses as well as just living a functional, convenient life here and call it a day. And it really wouldn't cost that much extra compared to the new Thai Elite program or Thai Privilege program. While these programs are great, if you want to stay in Thailand and you don't want to go for a Thai Privilege program or Thai Elite visa, I'd encourage you to you might not actually need a long-term visa in Thailand. This is something I've been really thinking about a lot over the last year and a half. Before they made these changes to the program and especially now after they've made these changes. So what I mean is most people wanting a long-term visa in Thailand don't actually need one. They want one, but they don't need one. And I don't mean they don't need one because they don't need to live in Thailand. I mean they don't need one because they don't actually care to spend that much time here. So like as an example with me, how long do I actually want to spend in Thailand a year? Like, I wouldn't mind living in Chiang Mai, but truthfully, because of the burning season, the pollution that accumulates during February, March, and the beginning of April, sometimes even late January, I don't want to be here during that time. I could go to the south, of course, yeah, but I can also just go to a different country. So I don't really want to be there 3 months. And when I was on the Thai education visa doing the Muay Thai training, I realized I'd like to travel a little bit more. I like to have a home base. That was really nice. But I want to visit other countries a while. I'd like to have probably 2 home bases, or at least one home base I stay in 6 months a year and then travel a few months a year, then go live in one country I already know and like for 3 months a year, something like this. And with that, do I really need a long-term visa for Thailand for? No. If I had the Philippines SIRV program, if I went through that, would I really need a long-term visa for Thailand? No. I could just go apply for a 60-day visa, come in, extend 30 days, and do this once a year, twice a year. I wouldn't really want to do more than that. And that solves the problem. I don't really need a long-term visa for Thailand, most likely. With that being said, if I did want to stay here, primarily rather than having Philippines as my home base, I decided on Thailand. Then the elite visa could still make sense, even with the price hike. So one of the things I value most is not having to worry about things, not having to have extra things on my mind or deal with just hassles. So would it really be worth just coughing up some money and having a long-term visa even without dealing with any of the business stuff? Yeah, I mean, for a lot of people, including myself, it might actually just be worth it to pay for the elite visa anyways. And this could be why they decided to raise the prices and do all this to the program. But I kind of doubt it because I think they're going to get a lot less applicants and a lot less revenue as a result. Especially because you need to be invited to the program now. But I think I know why they actually made these changes, and it wasn't to increase revenues. It was to make sure certain people weren't abusing the program. And what I mean by that is the old elite visa, it was priced to such a low fee. There were people coming and applying for it and then coming here and working illegally. I heard rumors of this going around that quite a few people are doing this, including working illegally at physical businesses in Thailand. Like, without a doubt, it's not allowed. And I think they might have raised these prices to exclude that crowd. The issue, I don't think that was a good move if they truly do want to attract like high net worth, high spending people to the country. I think they should have made it where you need to show proof of funds and proof of assets. If they want high net worth people, just make it a requirement that you have to have a certain net worth. So maybe make the program fees the same as it was before, $17,000, whatever it might be, and then make it where you have to show you have $200,000 in liquid net worth, or make it where you have to have $500,000 or $1 million, whatever it might be. And this would it would make sure no one's coming here and just working illegally. It would weed those people out without reducing the amount of applicants substantially, in my opinion. At least the applicants they want to come on the program, if you believe what they want or they say they want. And it wouldn't discourage people with some money who are more frugal from actually going through with the program, because now I've had many people who I know have multi-7 figures, like $3 to $5 million, and they now feel like it's not worth doing the program. Like, it wouldn't hurt them financially to do it. It's just when the program was less than half the price, not even a year ago, they just feel like they're getting a bad deal now. So I don't know. I don't really think this was a good decision for Thailand to make these changes to the program, and I think there's better alternatives to handle the situation. But yeah. So really, I think you should ask yourself, do you actually need a long-term visa in Thailand? Because I don't think I really do. And I reckon you probably don't either. Most people, they don't. Unless you're going to actually live here 9 to 12 months a year, you probably don't actually need a long-term visa. And if you do, and the elite visa, it costs quite a bit now, but it's not competitive anymore. But if you really like Thailand, it's still not so bad. And there's always the option, which I believe is a better option, of setting up a business, even if it's just to provide services to yourself and your own companies. As well as, of course, like I mentioned before, the option to do the education visas, which if you plan to stay here 9 to 12 months a year anyway, then it would be suitable. It wouldn't really be a concern to be out of the country for a month, 2 months a year, whatever it might be. So that's also an option for a long stay in Thailand. So like these program changes, I feel like they've made it non-competitive in the sense of Thailand's visa situation, as well as generally in the realm of Asia, it's no longer a competitive program. So unless you have some money to burn, to me, I'd say avoid the Thai privilege scheme now. And maybe go through one of the other alternatives I described in the video. Particularly the business visa route, I think is particularly attractive. Or of course you have the education visa if you're going to stay here 9, 10, 11 or 12 months a year. Otherwise, I mean, consider the other options in the region. They just redid the Malaysia My Second Home program, so it's a little more competitive, still not that great, but okay. Cambodia also has a far better program right next door. You can also set up a business in Vietnam relatively simply, and get a long-term visa there, much easier than in Thailand. And of course there's the SIRV program in the Philippines that I mentioned on the channel before. So yeah, I'd say consider your options if you really need a long-term visa in Thailand. But yeah, regardless if you do or not, this program isn't very good anymore. So yeah, with that being said, bye bye.